Hi everybody, Charles here. Welcome to Backroads Living. In this video today we're going to be talking about bartering items. There are some items that we all will need at some point or time in our preps, and we may need some of them more than others. And that being the case, we should realize that other people are also going to need these items, and a lot of times they may need them quite fast, or maybe even in an emergency in some cases. So what we're going to look at here today is 8 or 10 items that I feel like would make good bartering items in a situation where we were in a grid down, a lockdown, any emergency situation that we had to use our preparedness skills and our preparations that we put back over the years. So let's look at some of these items today. And before we do, let me say this. We do have our locals channel. You'll find a link to that in the description box below. You'll just need to click that See More link down there. There's a link to our locals.com, our locals, Backroads Living Locals Hangout. It's free speech. We're uncensored over there. We can talk about anything we want to, and we do talk about a lot of things over there. The only issue I have with that channel right now is the fact that I am limited as to how much I can do. I'm having to space my videos and space my chats and those kind of things out, the live videos, because we're only allotted a handful of those a month, because we only have, at this point, we only have 18 supporters, and we have to have 30 in order to get that moved up into a higher bracket where we have more videos that we can do and more live videos we can do and things like that. So if you can support us over there, we'd appreciate it. We'll do more over there when we get up to that 30 supporter bracket, and we'll upload more and talk about more things. But as of right now, we just have to kind of space it out till we get there. So we're doing the best we can. And if you can support us, support us. If you can't, you can still become a member. And we appreciate you either way. So let's get on into this video and talk about some items that you'll want to stockpile, maybe even some of these things, because they'll be extremely handy in certain situations. And the first thing we want to talk about is coffee. Now, I know everybody doesn't drink coffee. Sandy and I drink coffee, and I know a lot of you drink coffee because I've heard you talk about it in your posts and in the comment section. I've heard you talk a lot about being coffee drinkers. And coffee is one of those things that is kind of addicting. If you're accustomed to drinking caffeinated coffee every day of your life, every morning, every evening, whatever it might be, if you quit drinking it, you're going to have some withdrawal symptoms. It's just that simple. You're going to go through some symptoms that's going to be kind of unpleasant for a little while till you get past that. And coffee is something that is going to become in great demand right now with Brazil and the freeze that they've had over there, and the coffee that was destroyed over there, the coffee trees. Coffee is going to get expensive. And if you can have it put back and have it put away, kind of stashed away, then those are great bartering items. And you just can't beat the Dollar Tree coffee. If you've got a few extra dollars a month that you want to spend on something that you think might be a good investment, that's one of those things that might be a good investment for you to put back for bartering, is coffee. So again, that's it's something that's going to get higher and higher and higher. The next item we want to talk about is alcohol. Now, Sandy and I don't drink. We don't drink wine or whiskey or liquor, none of that stuff. If you do, that's your business. It's none of mine. But alcohol is a product that can be used for many things besides just drinking. And people use it in a lot of situations. You can cleanse wounds with it. You can use it for sanitation. It's just like rubbing alcohol. If it's a high percentage alcohol, you want to get a good high percentage vodka or something like that, clear spirits, and it's just, you can use it for tinctures. You can use it for medications. there's a massive uses for alcohol outside of drinking, but then there are those who that would barter for it for that purpose to make beverages during times of crisis. But there'll be people that will need that. That wouldn't be why I would stock it, but I'm just telling you that it would be a good barter item for whatever the case you may prefer to use it for. Another thing, and we don't talk about this very often on here, but we should. This should be talked about a whole lot on the prepping channels, is seeds. Saving your seeds. Now, I know we can get seed from produce at the store. You can buy your peppers and all these produce at the store's got seeds in them, and you can save those seeds, and some of those seeds will come up for you. Pinto beans, those seeds will come up for you. A lot of that kind of stuff. But I think it's coming to a time and place in society and in the world that we need to save all the seed we possibly can. Now, this year we found seeds extremely cheap at the Dollar Tree. We was getting 4 packs for $1, and we bought lots of those, and there was still lots left after we bought up a bunch of them. It took them a long time to sell through those seeds, and I was really surprised at that, because it's going to get to the point that we need to grow most of our own food. If things don't change pretty drastically in the next couple of years, we're going to see ourselves we're going to be in a position that we need to grow our own food in order to survive. So whether you're growing it on your patio or growing it in your windowsills or growing it wherever it may be, we need to be saving seeds. And those seeds will become invaluable as bartering items. If you have lots of seed put back that you couldn't possibly use them all, and you're going to be saving seed again next year from your garden, then these seeds will become invaluable bartering items. And you can get things you need for stuff like that. When people need seeds, vegetable seeds to grow food, they're going to be willing to swap and trade for them. The next thing is just simply food. What you've got in your pantry. Now, we all have food in our pantry, something or some things in there that we don't particularly care for. I know we do. We've picked up stuff over time that we picked up 2 or 3 cans of something or 4 cans of something to get to the house and open one of them and just don't much care for it. Well, we set those kind of back in the back, and we think, well, we'll give them to somebody or give them away or something. Hang on to those. Food will be an invaluable bartering item also. Just because you don't like it doesn't mean somebody else won't. Okay, so hang on to that stuff. Don't get rid of it. Don't throw it away. Hang on to the food items, whatever it might be, whether it be canned food or food that you can vacuum seal or any kind of food. Just hang on to that stuff, because again, bartering for food, when people get hungry, buddy, they most certainly will trade for those things. And the next item that we're going to talk about, we've talked about this 2 or 3 times in the last month or so, I think, is medical supplies and how valuable they will be in a grid down situation, a lockdown situation where you can't get out and go to the doctors, you can't get out and go to the medical clinics and things like that. Medical supplies are going to become invaluable. I did a video here a while back on our medical supplies. If you want to go back and watch that, you can. Just type in the search bar first aid, and it should bring up one of our, maybe more than one video, but we've got a video on it. And in that video, I talk about how that I pick up extra stuff when we're out at yard sales and flea markets and thrift stores and things like that. If we see stuff that's just extremely cheap, even if we've already got it, we'll get some more of it and just put it back as extra stuff. I'm always thinking, well, you never know what you might could do with it. You never know how you might could use it. And in reality, it could be a great bartering item. Any of your medical supplies, your first aid supplies and things like that, if you can find them cheap, especially at yard sales, flea markets, and thrift stores and stuff like that, Goodwills, whatever it might be, and you run across that stuff cheap, put it back. Excellent bartering items, medical supplies is. And another thing is tools. Now, I know that a lot of people hire stuff done right now. when they need repairs done to their home, or they need ditches dug, or they need whatever may be the case around their home or around their farm. A lot of people have that hired out for labor right now. But if you have a grid out, or you have a situation where people have lost their jobs and they can't get out and purchase these things, and they're not going to be able to hire people to do it for them, they're going to need to have those tools themselves to do their own work. And if they don't have them, then they're going to be willing to barter for them. So especially long handle tools like shovels, rakes, mattocks, hoes are coming. They're in our area. I'm finding it very hard to find a good garden hoe. Now you can sometimes find garden hoes at farmer supply stores and things like that, but they're just not the quality of the old hoes that you're able to find sometimes at flea markets and yard sales and things like that. I've picked up 2 or 3 really fine garden hoes at yard sales and flea markets and stuff here over the last couple of years, and I've got some heads to some that I just need handles to, and I wouldn't get rid of them for anything because they've got really good metal in them and they sharpen good, and that's the kind of stuff that people want. Or the shovels and hoes and the mattocks and the rakes. Those kind of things will become invaluable in time. So if you can pick up extra of those, I'd recommend doing that if you can find them cheap. You know, you don't want to spend a lot of money on this stuff if you don't have extra money to buy food with. Always the first thing is your pantry, you know, and then after that you work on this bartering stuff if you have any extra money to do that with. And another item that will be invaluable for bartering is weapons. Now, I'm trying to remember, I think it was in 2008 when ammunition became real scarce. It became real hard to find, and you know, right now we have a ban on Russian ammunition to the United States. The steel case stuff right now, they've stopped. The president stopped them from shipping that in. So ammunition is going to get short again. It's going to get more expensive again. And even if you find ammunition out here somewhere cheap, whether it fits your weapon or not, it can still be invaluable for bartering. Okay, so keep that in mind. You may have you may have something that takes a 3/8, and you might find a 4.5. And it'd be dirt cheap, and if you do that, buy that, because you can trade it to somebody that has one of those. You get the gist of what I'm saying here, or any other thing that does like this right here, or like that right there. They make good bartering items if you have an extra one that you don't need. Now, I wouldn't give up mine that I don't have if I didn't have an extra, there's no way I'd give up mine, because you never know when you're going to need those things. But if you have extra, yeah, they're great bartering items. Another thing is batteries. Now, we've talked about having batteries in our kits for survival, and batteries are invaluable. People need radios in grid down situations, the battery operated radios, the solar batteries, solar chargers, those kind of things, generators, those kind of things are just, they become valuable items. And there's going to be lots and lots and lots, I'm telling you, tons of people who don't have this stuff. And if you've got some extra or some to spare, and they have things that you could swap and trade for that you need, then you know, these things will be great bartering items. Another thing, and this is pretty important right here, is your water filtration device. Now, you need a way to purify your water outside of just bleach, and you can purify water with bleach, but they make these Berkeys, the big Berkey filters, water filters. They also make an Alexa Pure that you can filter water with, and the sites that I've been monitoring here lately, they stay pretty much sold out of those things, and then they'll get them back in and they'll sell out again. So I may be able to put you a link to one of those in the description box below if you're interested in that. I'll try to leave some links to some of these other things that you might be able to use also if I can think to. But another thing that the water filtration device, you can buy the small filters like you would drink out of a stream with. those would be invaluable if you live in an area where you can't get fresh water, but you have access to water in general. Ponds or creeks or streams or lakes or stuff like that, and you could carry water in. You can use those to filter your water for drinking water, because you've got to have water. I mean, that's just how it is. You've got to have water. About 3 days is all you're going to make it without water, so you need that water, and if you drink it and it's not purified, you're going to get sick and possibly die anyway. So you got to have clean water to drink. Cigarettes. Now, I don't smoke. Sandy don't smoke. I smoked years ago, and I smoked a lot. When I quit, I was smoking two packs of cigarettes a day when I quit. And I've never smoked since, and I'm thankful that I haven't. Because right now, to my understanding, cigarettes are about $5 a pack. And that puts them about anywhere with $4 to $5 a pack, and that puts them upwards to about, Sandy just said she thought there's about $7 a pack now. So, you know, golly, that's $140 a carton. Is that right, for 20 packs in a carton? So anyway, that's a lot of money. Cigarettes is high. When you pay $7 a pack for cigarettes, that's high. So what I would recommend, if you're a smoker and you're not already doing this, or if you think that this is something you would like to lay by for a bartering item, is buy one of those cigarette rolling machines and go to these cigarette stores and buy the pouch tobacco and the cigarette papers. And the way I know you can do that is because our son used to do that, and he bought pouch tobacco, the paper, and he had a roller, and it was way again cheaper than buying cigarettes by the pack. I mean, he saved tons of money by doing that. The next item, and this will probably be the last item I mention in this video, is hygiene items. Now, in a grid down situation, especially if you have no power to get fresh running water and these kind of things in the house, hygiene is important to a lot of people. And people like to feel refreshed. They like to feel clean, and you know, but it's just harder to do when you don't have the niceties of modern civilization, like running water and a water heater and all this stuff that you're accustomed to every day. And hygiene becomes important to people. Stuff like toilet paper. You know, we talked about the infamous toilet paper aisle the other day in our video, and but that's one of the things that you don't have to have it. You can't eat it, you can't drink it, but there's a lot of people out there, and I mean lots of people out there, that would trade food and all kinds of stuff for toilet paper. They just would. I know that you and I wouldn't. We wouldn't do that, but there's people that would, you know. But hygiene things like toilet paper is good to stockpile if you have extra money. Now, like I say, when I was talking back up here a while ago on one of these other items, all these things are things that you want to stockpile if you have extra money. All of these things are things that, or not all of them, but the most of these things are things that you need anyway, and you're already going to have. I know that. But if you have extra money, these are things you might want to put extra extra back of each one. You know, and things like soap and baby wipes and baby lotion. People's going to have children, small children, that they need stuff for. You women are going to need your women things and stuff, you know, for your hygiene. You might want to have some extra of that put back if you can get it cheap. So anyway, those are some things that I just thought that might be handy to put back, stockpile some of these things for bartering. And if you have things that you think might be good bartering items, let us know. We'd be glad to hear from you. And don't forget to like the video, give us a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to our channel, go ahead and subscribe and click that bell icon so you'll be notified of our videos when we upload them. And don't forget to prep. And the first thing you need to prep is your soul with the Lord Jesus Christ. Next thing to prep is your pantry. And then, of course, the third thing to prep as those bartering items when you can afford to get them. So with that being said, we're going to get going, and we'll see you in the next video.